we need to talk about Xbox. So here we are again talking about Xbox. It seems like I just did this last year, but this time it's because the Xbox community and fan base has been in a huge kerfuffle or something. And it's because it was speculated that some exclusive Xbox titles were actually not going to be exclusive anymore and go to another platform, which added further speculation that Xbox was going to be going multi-platform and weren't going to be making consoles anymore. It got to the point that Xbox head Phil Spencer had to come on Twitter and say, hey, we're going to have a podcast that's going to be talking about what our plan is going forward and our strategy for building Xbox. We'll see you in a week. And then the podcast happened. And what was revealed? Nothing, not a goddamn thing. Or rather, nothing is really changing. All that's really happening is 4 games are going to be ported over to Switch and PlayStation, and it's going to be business as usual. They're still in the console market. They're still making consoles. As a matter of fact, they teased a brand new console. And the only thing is just that 4 games, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, is going to be ported over to PlayStation 5 and Switch. Big deal. These are older titles. Some of them are more than a year older. The youngest one is probably Hi-Fi Rush. And it just seems like everyone is so worried about Xbox just because they just completed the deal with Activision Blizzard and they're laying off a bunch of people, which I knew was going to happen because when you combine companies, redundancies end up happening, and then people are now going to be expected to do double work for this same kind of position of job. And the ones that were doing that before for the other company are no longer going to be needed. What I want to talk about though is why was there such a panic within the community about this news, or at least on the precipice of this news? There's 2 reasons for this. Number one, at the end of the day, people have to kind of realize that Xbox right now is in 3rd place. I talked about this in my last video about them. Again, it was about a year ago, so it has been a while. Go check that out. But yeah, Xbox has lost a lot of goodwill, and as a result, the punishment for that has been that they are in 3rd place. However, everyone seems to interpret this as Xbox is losing. Xbox is not losing. They're in 3rd place out of 3 console manufacturers, so that is last place. But that is not losing because you have to consider how much money they're actually making. They may be selling consoles at half the rate that their competition is PlayStation, and they're not even close to what the Switch has sold, but they are still making millions, if not billions of dollars. And despite all of this, despite the fact that they're still selling and making a whole bunch of money, like even though the consoles are not profitable, the games themselves are making a lot of money. Really, the only people who are not happy with this are like shareholders who want just more and more money. There's just no way you're ever going to satisfy that. And the fan base, just because they're not in 1st place, they're just not happy. It's not enough that they have great games. They also want everyone else to not have as much money or as many good titles and as big as a fan base that they have, which is just petty and childish. It's actually surprising that Xbox even responded to these rumors, considering that none of this fucking matters. At the end of the day, people should just be happy with the fact that they have Xbox Game Pass, which is the best deal in gaming, that they have a console that's strong, a internet interface, with Xbox Live or Xbox Game Pass Core, I believe is what they're calling it now, that's solid. It always works extremely well. A solid and dedicated fan base. All these great things that they're doing, they have the games that you want for the most part, but you're still not happy because everyone else has something that they don't, that Xbox doesn't. And that is more fans, more people buying their systems. I don't know, what they seem to want is just want everyone to lose so that they can win. They don't want to actually be happy with what they have, and that's unfortunate. Again, this also extends to the shareholders, but then again, that's a whole other can of worms that's bigger than Xbox and more a problem with the way that we run our businesses in capitalism. But suffice to say, a whole bunch of nonsense was kicked up around Xbox this past month or so for no reason, and it really just shows, unfortunately, how sometimes juvenile the video game industry and community can be. You think it's a problem that exclusives are being released out there? I personally think it's, hey, great, Xbox has these great games and now more people are going to be able to play them. Whenever games are being released for more and more platforms, that's just consumer friendly. That's just better for the consumer, it's better for the gamer. But you let me know in the comments what you think about this, what you think about Xbox going multi-platform for 4 of its games, and what do you think about how Xbox is seen as being in last place? Do you really think that they're failing though? Do you agree with me that really it's just about how much money you're making to make sure that you're staying in business? Or do you think that there really needs to be a push to put Xbox in first place, or maybe even at least in second place, considering how you feel about Nintendo? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you for another Colorwind Talks, I guess.